Welcome, my beautiful souls, for another episode of the Sacred Roots podcast. So it's quite funny because today I'm going to do an episode on something that you might be able to see if you're actually watching this episode on YouTube, but you're not going to be able to hear it. So I shaved my head. And that's what we're going to actually talk about today. I'm sure you've guessed it because it's also the title of this episode. But I wanted to be a bit vulnerable again in this episode and share with you why I shaved my head and the amazing lesson that I got from it in only 24 hours. So I've been wanting to shave my head for 6 weeks now, since the beginning of 2023. I don't know, I just had this urge. I really wanted to shave my head. And I was afraid to do such a bold move, pun intended, of course. I was like, is my husband still going to think I'm attractive? People are going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think I'm doing weird things again. What about my friends? Are people going to love me less? Are people going to not sign up to my programs and my retreats because I shaved my head? You know, usual fears that show up when we want to do something that's a bit bolder, a bit different. But I really wanted to shave my head because since the beginning of the year, I've been letting go of so much. And it's really a theme in the collective. I'm seeing it everywhere. That we're in transition, we're up-leveling, we're letting go. We're all actually really coming back to more of who we are. And that's really what I've been going through. Another ego death and rebirth. And that's why I wanted to shave my head, because it was really a way to symbolize everything that I have let go of. Like, what has really come up for me is the little girl inside of me that doesn't feel enough, that has to prove herself, that is really hard with herself and has really high expectations of herself, and that is always pushing herself to be her best, to be perfect, to show up, really because she just wants to be loved and recognized for who she is. And that's because I wasn't truly loving myself and recognizing myself for who I am. And I realized that at an even deeper layer, even though I've been on a self-love and healing journey for 5 years nonstop now, like seriously nonstop. Every week I'm like realizing something, working through something. There's always more. And that's the beauty of this life, is that we can always evolve more into love. I find it really beautiful. And so with all the breath work that I did, because I did a breathwork training in January, all the breath work that I did, all the journaling that I did, the support that I'm getting from an Ayurvedic practitioner, all of that really invited me to come back to my essence, who I really, really am. And I've been birthing a whole new way of being by just accepting deeply who I am, loving myself, and treating myself with softness. If you are in my email list or social media, you know that soften and softness are really the words of my year 2023. Because I know how to have willpower and do things with strength. And I have a lot of strength, inner strength, also physical strength. But now it's time for me to learn to do things with softness. And I've realized that softness and strength are actually the same thing. But I'm going to talk about that after. I'm getting sidetracked. There's so many things I want to share with you. And so I wanted to shave my head because I wanted to acknowledge this whole rebirth that I am in. And shaving your head, it's like I'm coming back to being a baby. When babies are born, they have a few hairs and then they lose them after 2-3 months because of the hormones, and they're mostly bald at some point, and then they grow their hair. And as my hair is growing again, I get to remind myself every day of how much I love myself, how much I am enough, how worthy I am, and that I can do things with softness. I also wanted to shave my hair because I thought it was a very interesting exploration of my own beauty. We are so connected to our hair. Like our relationship with our hair represents a lot of the relationship we have with ourselves, or how confident we are. That's why you see when people are a bit uncomfortable or they're doubting themselves, they're going to start stroking their hair or touching their hair. It's really a sign of actually discomfort and unworthiness. And as women, you know, we have been told to have babies and to be beautiful and to show up for centuries. And now things are changing, thank God, thanks to amazing women who are doing similar work to the work that I do, because that's also definitely something I stand for. And so I wanted to explore, all right, if my hair is making me beautiful, I love it when I do a nice blow dry. How beautiful am I going to see myself or to feel if I don't have hair? It's really an invitation to reconnect with my own beauty, my inner beauty, my essence, rather than my external appearance. And so it's very interesting because I'm still getting used to it. Every time I see myself in a reflection, a window, or a mirror, I'm like, oh yeah, I shaved my head. It's true. But in the few hours that followed shaving my head, I learned such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lesson. And if you're feeling called to explore what it is to be beautiful without hair, if you're going through a rebirth journey as well, I would invite you to shave your head. You don't have to, you can do it differently. But I realized that because a head that is shaved exudes a message, a bit of, it's masculine, you know, men shave their head, women don't, unless they become nuns or unless they're working in the army. There's an energy of aggressivity actually around it, and maybe violence. And so because my head is shaved and I look much more masculine without hair, it's really inviting me to completely embrace my feminine energy. And I realized that because I look more aggressive, more masculine, I was actually allowing myself to be much more feminine, much more soft, much more loving. I've been way more sweet and loving and calling my husband mon amour in every sentence and giving kisses to my baby much more. And I've realized, oh, wait, this is actually me being so loving, being so sweet, being so kind and generous. I remember I was like that when I was a child. And I was singing songs and writing poems and living in my world of bees and butterflies and in that bubble of love. So much so that actually a lot of people made fun of me because of that. I would write poems about a deer in the mountains, and my friends would read it and it would be like, what is this ridiculous poem about a deer? And that was just me. That was my creative, artistic, loving, I mean, even like angel kind of energy. And I suppressed that innocent part of myself. I suppressed it because I was like, well, it's being made fun of, so it's not really lovable. And I became strong and I became powerful. And I realized that being loving was also not always very respected. People abused of my kindness because I didn't know what boundaries were. And I was also giving love because I thought that's how I could be loved. It's really a big theme in my life. There's so much that's connected to it. And so because I didn't have boundaries and people were abusing my kindness and my love, and because my excessive love was made fun of, I pushed it down. And instead, I tried to show up as smart, as intelligent. I did a master in evening classes and worked like crazy to prove myself that I was smart because I didn't think I was smart. I remember writing my first book, The Self-Healing Spiral, because the method that I created was going to help women for sure. And I wanted to help women. I was like, oh my God, everything that I realized, I can't keep it for myself. But let's be honest, deep, deep, deep down, I wrote this book because I wanted to prove myself that I could sustain myself, that I was smart, that I could create a business. I just wanted to prove myself because I wasn't feeling enough. Because I thought that being that loving, creative, spiritual, beautiful being wasn't enough. I rejected that part of me. And so yesterday I was crying because I realized, wow, shaving my head, letting go of these superficial things actually allowed me to see, to see the pure, raw person that I am. Shaving your head, it's pretty raw. You come back to your rawness, your wildness. And when I was looking at myself in the mirror, all I could see was softness in my eyes, in my lips, the curves of my body, in my breasts, my legs, the softness of my skin. Everything in my body actually expresses this softness. And maybe that's something that you've already seen in me, but I didn't want to see it. And I thought, it's true, I actually thought for a long time that my hair was giving me this kind of like kind, angelic kind of look, because I have this, I mean, if you're following me on social media, you know. If you're only listening to this podcast, you don't know, but I have this brown, wavy, curly, voluminous hair that is really beautiful. I actually love my hair. And I thought that my hair was giving me this kind of like innocent, loving, angelic look. But when I let go of my hair, I was like, no, it's not my hair. It's actually who I am. It's my energy. And I have this hair because it's an extension of who I am. My soul has chosen this hair because it reflects a part of me, a big part of me. And so letting go of my hair allowed me to see that this was actually really who I am, my essence. And so it's really beautiful how my word of the year was softness, softening. And as I chose this word, I had the intuitive hit to shave my hair because of everything that I've let go of and because of this huge homecoming journey that I've been on. And not only shaving my head celebrated that, it brought it even further. It reminded me of the loving person, the innocent, kind person that I am. And that there's nothing bad, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually very much needed. Because we live in a world that can be chaotic, that can be hard, that can be messy, that can be violent. And softness, kindness, love is a breath of fresh air. And love really is the purpose of life. We all come here as souls to learn about love, to learn to love ourselves. We have businesses, and hopefully the business that you have, you do things that you love in your business. And it's about sharing that love with others. Life is about connecting with each other because we love to connect. We love to see someone in their most authentic expression, and we love to be seen for who we are. The food that we eat, it's grown through the love of farmers and people that tend to the earth and the love of the earth. Life is about love. And so coming back to my loving essence and energy is the greatest lesson I have learned from shaving my hair. It's been a gift. And like I said, I realized that softness and strength are the same thing. They're the same energy, they're power, but just at a varying degree. You can have a lot of power when you use your strength, but you actually have even more power when you're soft, when you're relaxed, because then you allow the greater power, the universal consciousness, the chi, to work through you. you come back to your loving essence. And what greater power than the power of love? I've realized so much in those past 24 hours about who I am, my purpose, my work, my inner wisdom, my energy. It's been a gift to shave my hair. And I'm really excited to embody more of my authentic essence, my authentic expression in the next weeks, in the next months, and share that essence with you. I'm still going to be strong. I'm never going to get rid of my strength, but I might do things with more softness with myself and with others, and actually just allow myself to live in the world of bees and butterflies and rainbows and unicorns, because they exist just on another plane of consciousness. And if we can express them on this earthly plane just a little bit to make this world a little softer, a little bit more beautiful, a little easier, then I think it's really worth it. And if you also want to come back to your own softness, your own essence, and walk your unique sacred path, then I really invite you to have a look at my 16-week course, Surrender. Because in that course, we really move away from control, pushing, powering through, hustling, doing things with strength. And we come back to that state of flow, to abundance, to miracles, to softness, because that is your natural state. Look at babies. They're flowy, they're soft, they're love. They're miracles. Think about how babies are created. I still can't get my head around it. They're miracles. That they come through the body of a woman or a cell and then a perfect baby. Pure miracles. And look at nature, how abundant it is, and how abundant you are. So this course is really a homecoming. And then letting that homecoming, let your unique path unfold for you so that you can fulfill your destiny, step into your highest purpose, and express your most authentic self, because that's key to having a purposeful life, impactful life, abundant life, and really having everything that you desire, but not with hustling, with softness, with flow, with guidance, in co-creation with the divine. And I'm deeply passionate about this course because it's going to be deeply life-changing. All right, my loves, I'm sending you a lot of love, a lot of softness, a lot of smiles. If you're watching this on YouTube, otherwise you can hear my smiles from Spotify or Apple. Of course, if you want to send me your love as well, I would appreciate it so much if you could review my podcast on Apple or Spotify. I truly appreciate it. And you know how this helps reach more people so that more people can soften as well, come back to love, free themselves, and walk their most unique and sacred and purposeful life. Much love, my darling. May you also come back to softness, to love. And I'll see you soon.